I cannot believe that in 2026, ladies are still being chased out of their house just because they refuse to swear an oath that they would never cheat on their husband. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not preaching cheating. Neither am I against any tradition. I respect all traditions and I do not support cheating. Now, this is a story that is very dear to me because it's literally heartbreaking. Before I even start the story, hi, this is Words from the Heart with Annie. I tell stories, real life stories of people, and sometimes it's for them to gain advice or to just share their experiences so you can learn a thing or two. Now, today's story is about a girl, a young girl. She met this guy when she was in university and they dated for a while. Then, as time went on, she found out she was pregnant. They decided to have the child together. When she met this guy, he was, just trying to figure life out. But when he realized she was pregnant, he decided to double down on his hustle, did cab work, did anything he could to make a better life for himself and the mother of the child to be. He even wanted to marry her, but Benin tradition, they refused that he has to wait till she puts to bed. And they continued like that. Eventually, he was able to relocate from Nigeria in search of a better life. She still stayed with him. She gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. They continued a very long and rocky relationship. Despite the distance, despite the struggles, despite the trials, she remained faithful to him. Despite the cheating, yes, he cheated on her. That's the irony of this story. He cheated on her. Not once, not twice, but she kept forgiving him. Why? For the sake of her daughter. She did not want her daughter to experience growing up in a broken home. So now you can imagine how heartbreaking it is at the end of all these trials and struggles. What resulted? A broken home. They dated for a while, but because he was not in Nigeria, they remained like that, unmarried but together. She didn't cheat on him. She remained faithful. Eventually, he came back to Nigeria and things started improving. He would come every year to see her, and they eventually planned their marriage last year. It was a beautiful ceremony. Everyone was happy, like finally. This guy and this girl in question have been together for nothing less than 6 years. They started dating since 2016. We're in 2026. That's 10 years worth of relationship gone down the drain just like that. But what happened? As soon as things started improving for him, he started to spoil her for everything she went through because of him. Got her a car, enrolled her in a baking school to learn a hand skill. He built a house where she and her daughter were staying. Things was looking up. She had a shop. Everything seemed perfect. And the ribbon on the cake was the wedding. But then the sister-in-laws, the family of the guy started getting jealous, like, oh, she wants to take their son away from him. Why is he doing all this for her? Why did he buy her a car? Why did he do this? Why did he open that shop? Why is he doing this for her? Mind you, when he was nothing, they never had any issues with her staying with him in poverty and all. Okay, oh, they got married, and the father-in-law told her one thing on the wedding day, that if you try to take my son away from me, I will drive you from this place. She kept telling the husband everything the father-in-law would say to her. And he would say, it doesn't mean it. You know, my dad is strict. He's all these traditional people. Just don't think much about it. She would even overhear the father-in-law giving his son advice like, don't trust a woman. Why not marry another one? Things like that. And she would ask him, like, can you hear the advice your father-in-law is giving to you? Your father is giving to you. And he'll say, he's just saying this. It's just because he just wants him to look after himself. And yes, his father is a polygamous man. He married two wives himself. So it's not the best source of advice. In fact, you should never be advising somebody when you could not keep your own marriage. But anyway, I'm trying to be calm in this story. I'm pissed off. I'm trying to be calm. Okay, oh. Then it got to a point. The husband traveled back and she was at home with the child. They started coming up with different excuses. Next thing they were like, the day of her wedding, she was actually supposed to stay behind, oh, and help the mother-in-law sweep, cook, and do all that before going back to her place. She didn't say anything. She was like, okay, she did not know. Okay. Then they came again that, and they actually have a tradition, oh, that anybody that marries into their family must swear an oath that they would never cheat on the husband. They can never be with any other man. And she was actually contemplating it, but then her mom, because she has a very close knit relationship with her family, her mother, her brothers, and all. And they told her that this thing that they're asking you to do, so this particular oath they're referring to, this particular one is not the type that if maybe something happens to your husband or maybe you people break up, God forbid, or something bad happens, It's not the type that you say you can marry or you can never marry again or whether the man dies or whether you separate or you cannot marry again. And she was like, That's the one they're referring to." They said yes. So she was like, "No, she's not doing." And that she gave her life to Christ 2022. And so she's not partaking of it. And that was why all hell broke loose. The family started attacking her. Before then, they had complaints about her that she was not coming to the family home as often as they would want. They wanted her to always come to the side of her in-laws and come with her daughter and just stay. She was like, "What is she coming there to stay for? She has work to do. Her child has to go to school. During holidays, she's also busy with her own hustle. She's trying to work. It's not as if people don't see your daughter, your granddaughter, or you don't see me. I come around and greet people once in a while, but I go back to my house." He said, "No, why would she not come and sleep and stay and do this and do that?" And she told her husband that this thing they're asking for is what will lead to see finish you. I cannot do it too. I respect boundaries a lot. You could see me, you see my child. That is enough. Why do I have to start staying with you and living like a house girl with you when I have my own marital home and my job to do?" That was the battle they kept fighting till they brought this oath on. And that was where she was like, this one, I'm not going to agree. The husband in question was not in Nigeria, but he was aware of everything that was happening, and all he had to say was, she should do it now. Then the sister-in-laws, the mother-in-law, they told her that if you really love him as you are saying, why can you not do this small thing that they're asking of you? And she asked the man, "We've been dating for years now. Even before we got married and everything, did you ever tell me that in your family, oh, the woman have to swear oath to? Did you tell me?" He said no. "So you did not tell me. Almost a year after marriage, now you're coming to tell me that I should swear oath. Why?" He did not really think much about it, that he does not really care about it, but it's what the father wants. What do you mean it's what your father wants? You are my husband. Talk. Did you tell me to swear oaths? And I've told you before that I'm not doing that type of. I did not sustain or rather tolerate every single rubbish you've been doing since because I want to do, I must marry. I was doing all that for the sake of my child. I want her to grow up with both of us in a happy home. But I cannot put my life at risk or go against my belief because your father wants it. I will not do it. The husband was quiet, but his family members, they were not having it. They had different family meetings. They came to the house and was antagonizing her in all forms. She recorded everything. And she kept sending to her own family group chat, like, "Can you see what they're doing?" And her mom just kept telling her to keep calm. She did not insult them. She did not say anything to them. She just kept repeating, "I will not swear that oath." And she was like, "Okay, if at all I want to forget the fact that I'm a Christian, that I've devoted my life to God and swear this oath, your son should also follow and swear. He's the one that's even cheated on me. Me, I've not cheated on him. So you should follow me and swear. I will never be with any other man again. And he will never look at any other woman or be with another woman again." And he said, God forbid. It's not done. How would you tell him to swear? He's a man. He's a man. In 2026? Is this what we are still doing in 2026? He's a man. He's a man. And she said, "Okay, since he's a man, me, I'm a woman. I'm literally the only daughter my parents have. I cannot swear that oath. I'm not swearing." Before they could even resolve the issue, the father-in-law said, "Okay now, if you will not swear, leave. Leave my son's house. I do not want to see you here. In fact, when are you leaving?" And she said, "When your son comes back, we'll discuss it." He said, "No, he cannot wait. She has to leave now." And she said, "Okay, no problem." She has heard. She would tell her husband when she's leaving and he will communicate to them. The man still refused. He said that will not work. As he's talking to her today, she must leave tomorrow. She was like, she should leave tomorrow. Say yes, she must leave tomorrow. And mind you, I listened to this voice note myself, so this is not them say them say. He wasn't even communicating, like trying to talk to her. He was yelling and shouting. And everybody's like, "Okay, what are you even shouting about?" That I refuse to swear oaths. I did not insult you. I did not raise my voice at you. Just because I was maintaining my boundary, trying to maintain my self-respect as your daughter-in-law. And the only thing I refused was I will not swear oath. That is why you said I should leave your son's house. I've stayed with him all these years. I've stood in the gap for him in terms of prayers, supported in all forms I could. Yes, your son has been nice to me. He loves me. And he has treated me to the best of his abilities. He takes care of his child. And that's why I'm still here, despite the trials and despite everything you have been doing to get me to leave. I'm still here. But now you say if I don't swear the oath, I must leave. Okay, I will leave. So she sent the voice recordings and all to her family group chat, and he told her that even her pastor, they're like, this man, he's a diabolical man. If he wants you to leave tomorrow, leave today." So as soon as they were done with all the meeting and everything, she packed her things, carried her daughter, and left. I'm really trying so hard to keep my emotions in check as I'm making this video. She left and went to her uncle's side because her family is not in Benin and she could not start traveling. So she went to a relative of hers in Benin and was there. And she sent the recordings and everything to her husband. Like, sure, you can hear what your people are saying to me. I've been telling you this all this while. And the husband was quiet. He read the messages and said nothing. Mind you, before all this started, she was already having dreams and revelations, even from her pastor, that something wrong was going to happen. But what she kept saying was she lost her husband, like he died. So she kept praying against it. She told her mom, she kept praying against it. This is not a story of just anybody. This is someone very close to me. The Hallelujah Challenge and all, we did it together. What was she praying for? Her prayer request was simple: God, save my husband and my marriage. The worst anybody could have imagined was not what happened. And the heartbreaking part of all this is no matter what the family said or what the father says, the husband was quiet. And everybody's like, you cannot say anything, but that he is what the father wants. And so she went to meet her pastor, and the pastor told her that she should be happy this is where it got to. That the man has been trying to attack her spiritually. He couldn't. He has tried. He couldn't. He saw that her head is too strong. And she was like, yes, he has told her something like that in person before. That he cannot control her. That's why he does not like her. That he's unable to control her. He's unable to make her do what he wants. And so he does not like her. That she keeps pulling his son from him. And when he first said that to her, she told the husband, like, your family does not have your best interest at heart too. Let's pray. The husband said, my family can do me no wrong. They mean me well. You are just overthinking. She's like, okay, fine. I don't want to badmouth your family. Let's still pray. He's the I beg you, everything is fine, don't worry about it. So she was the only one praying. Now, not to sound too self-righteous right now, but I mean, it's literally in the Bible. Can two work together except they agree? People think it's up to a woman to keep a home. But I believe we've gotten to a point right now in our generation where we've gotten to realize that it takes more than that. It takes the man and the woman to keep a home. The husband is literally the head. When the head is broken, what do you want the neck to do? So why do we keep faulting the women? Now, this is not something that was easy for her to do. She was hospitalized for months. She would just be there and she would faint. What was wrong? Nothing. She was on drip and all forms of medications. Nothing was wrong. They couldn't find anything. But she was heartbroken and she was thinking. Yes, heartbreak is not something to joke about too. So commit the youngest part of your life to someone, your youth, your entire youth, to a man, to building a home, and have it broken apart, not because your husband drove you out, and not because you did something, like not because you committed a taboo, but because you refused to swear an oath in 2026. Are we for real? Like, when I heard this story, I was in shock because I could not believe things like this are still happening. It seemed like Nollywood story to me. I'm like, no, this cannot be happening. You have to be joking right now. You cannot say you mean this. Now, it's been months already since this happened. And all she keeps hearing from pastors, because she even tried to fight it in any way she could, but all they kept telling her was she should keep praying, that her husband is not in his clear eyes right now, and that's the reason why he's quiet. That he wants to talk, but he's unable to. That the father has tied him and he cannot say anything. And he has even gotten to a point where he is even wishing the father would just go back to the ancestors so he can live his life, because he's tired of the man choking him, but he's unable to do anything. And so he's just there looking at everything. He's still reaching out and taking care of his daughter. She said things are slowly better now. Before, when it happened, all he always asked her was, how is my child? But now, he occasionally would ask, how are you too? He had even attempted to come see her, traveled all the way to Delta. When he came back, he found that she was not in her mother's house, and she refused to tell him her new address. And she said, I'm not there again, I've left. Your people asked me to leave, I've left. And yes, the car that the sister-in-laws were so jealous about, they did not fail to take it. They took the car from her too. They took everything. She only could live with her child and her things. It's heartbreaking to know that things like that are still happening in 2026. I thought we are all educated. I thought we've gotten to a point where we realize these things don't really make sense. You can attack me, you can say what you want. So I'm not against tradition, like I said before. But there are sometimes you just need to sit and think. This is someone that's not a flirt. She's not someone who has betrayed you before, who would understand the reason why you are insisting on her swearing that oath. You are the one who has even gone outside. But yes, you are the one who is not allowed to swear oath, so you can possibly marry a second wife. In fact, bring another woman home because it's your right as a man. Eh? So these things are still happening. And one major thing I must say in this, like, I think for me, the deepest part of this story, or rather the moral lesson for me, what I learned from this story was the fact that when it comes to choosing a partner, It's important to choose someone that loves you. I'm not denying that. But you see, there's nothing more draining or heartbreaking than fighting spiritual battles. Whether you want to believe they exist or not, they are there. And until you experience one, you will not understand. So don't look at fine boy. Don't just, oh, yes, he loves me. Oh, because things are happening. Oh, please go for a man that knows God. A man that can actually sustain a home. The head has to be hot. Even if the neck is hot, you cannot do it alone. The head has to be hot. The head has to be able to cooperate with you. He has to be able to come with you when things are going wrong and like, no, this is not right. Let's pray about this. Rather than just sitting down looking and saying, no, nothing is happening. It's my family now. They mean well for me. If they really mean well for you, would they ask you to drive your child and your wife out when she has done nothing to you? Now, the house in question, the car and everything is there. It's there, it's empty. But they just did not want her to have it because he's the one doing, and amongst the family, he's doing, let's say he has the best of everything. He has done really well for himself. So they are jealous of it. And the father-in-law is not just doing this to her. Oh. That would have been okay. He hates her just because she's stubborn. No, his son-in-laws too. He made sure his daughters married people he could control and use and move around the way any way he wants. But just because she was not like that, that's the reason why her marriage is broken now. Even while she was sharing this story, she was in tears. It's been months and she's still in a process of recovery, but she has gotten to a point now where she does not even think she wants to even be with a man again. I mean, who will blame her? When you spent the best, okay, not like the best part of your year, but when you've given your youth, your 20s to a man and then everything goes down the drain because of family battles, who would want to trust again? Like I said, Sha, check the family you are marrying into before you say yes, I do. Before you start shouting, say yes, say yes, say yes. Before you are accepting that diamond ring, check the family you are marrying to. Ask questions. Do you people used to swear oath? Oh, will you people make me kill myself? Oh, ask questions. And make sure your husband or husband to be is someone who can stand in the gap of prayer with you. But if you are the type that you say you don't want to have anything with God, it does not concern you, don't believe in God, okay, you can go ahead. But if you know that you know God, do not marry someone who cannot accompany you to church or wake up at night and pray with you. When the Bible said the man is the head, there was a reason for that. There's only so much one person can do to sustain a relationship. It takes two. Now, this is not a story about cheating. Because he cheated, she stayed. This is not a story about leaving because there was no money. When they started, there was no money, but she stayed. This is just a simple story of I don't want to swear oats. I got carried away because of how hurt I was by this story. But I'm going to stop here for today. Next time, hopefully, I'll be telling a story that does not invoke a lot of pain and anger as much as this one does, but still has a lot of lessons for you. And that'll be all for Words from the Heart with Annie today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and I really hope you had a lot to learn. See, even if you don't watch my other stories, don't play with this one. Take the words seriously. Who no go no no. See you next time and thanks for watching. Bye.